All right, there we go. It's the end of the month already. Is spitting the same as dog piss? Good question. Another podcast episode to be recorded this weekend, and another long timer leaving. Question is, do I keep on going or do I pack it in? Authorities said that they have to rectify, they have to crack down on illegal maps about China. Article says the authorities said that a correct national map is a symbol of national sovereignty and territorial integrity. What did they say about Ukraine? YouTube watching, Librivox listening, blog post writing, and a live track? All right, folks. Friday, September 30th, 2022. I'm Steven Sersky. Hope you guys are, and girls, doing well out there, living around the world, doing what you got to do. Got some feedback from the PCast of lately. Now that I have it on Spotify, I'm able to share it a lot easier, and some people have been sending me their comments, which is good to hear, because honestly, for the last... I said 3 years before, and the reason why I'm counting that, because it was April 2020, April 2021, and April 2022, so that to me is 3 years of some sort of content creation, but in terms of numerically, like, I guess it's inclusively counting, right? 3 years of producing a big cast, a big podcast, which episode 33 with David Harrison Horton, poet and author, he just released yesterday. And so I was actually pretty, I couldn't sleep afterwards because I was just so hyped up with the amount of stuff I was able to get done yesterday, and I was feeling better and everything, and I think I had a little bit too much espresso during the day, which disabled me or prevented me from sleeping properly in the evening. But up this morning as well, got the Murph. Oh, I don't have the Murph times for you guys today. Shoot, sorry. Let's see if I can jot that down quickly here. I'll get to it in a bit. But basically, with the whole podcast going on, I've received some pretty good comments about it. Some people have asked about listenership, and I'll tell again. This is actually there's been a couple of reasons why I haven't posted to Spotify and to these major distribution platforms before. Number one was cost. Okay, I knew that I wanted to do a podcast similar to what the extended conversation that Joe Rogan does. Okay, now I'm not trying to take his idea, because he does something a little bit different in terms of the guests that he has. He's a lot of A-liners, A-listers, but even his early stuff, a little bit different than what I'm trying to do here. Mine focuses a lot more on expats. I speak, like, as he talks to MMA people and fighters and military personnel, being in that sort of area of expertise. I talk to expats, and I don't want to call them. Are they academics? Some of them are, but a lot of them are just people living overseas. So it's expats and travelers and things like that. English teachers, a lot of them, but a lot of them aren't as well. So that's number one. It's a very different take on the extended conversation. Again, it goes back to the idea: if you were to rock up in any bar around the world, cafe around the world, you strike up a conversation with the person sitting at the table next to you. That is my big podcast. Okay, that's the big podcast where I talk to other people, other expats. That's what I'm going for. If you were to record whatever conversation you have with those people, those expats, that's it. I mean, anyone can do this, especially with given the audio quality that I'm generating. It's not studio quality, that's for sure. It's not the SM7B or whatever it is that Joe Rowe uses, or that's recommended as being the podcasting microphone. I'm using a Zoom H4 one microphone and trying to boost the volume in post. I've actually my latest shtick has been to go from Logic Pro, which is made by Apple, and I spit out a WAV file, and I usually have to spit it out in two files because Logic doesn't spit out the full thing anymore. It gives me, I have to export it hour by hour. I import that into Audacity, the free open source audio editing software, and there I put them together, paste them together. I apply some loudness normalization, a compressor, a limiter, and then I try to boost I amplify a little bit, and I might add another limiter as well. And that gives it a nice rounded sort of feeling. I've noticed that my voice comes across a little bit more tinny as a result. I'll swallow that. I'll take that hit because I mix to a certain level. On my computer, my MacBook Pro, I put it to 4 bars, okay? And with headphones, I crank them all the way down. I put the MacBook Pro to 4 bars, and then I crank the headphones up, and I see how does it sound like that. Now I have two separate sets of headphones. I have a studio set, the KRK 180s, I think they are, or 858s, 865s, something like that. And then I also I mix off of MacBook Pro speakers and my Power Beats earphones. So I do several different types. I'm checking for background noise, sibilance, that stuff, all the stuff that you hear in this live sort of recording. I want to take it out during the big podcast because that one's long duration. This one's short duration. You can sort of get through it. Long duration, you don't want a lot of that. Same with all of that, those mouth noises. Oh, they drive me crazy. And yes, I know the MP3 I posted has me beginning the episode with or Friday, and oh goodness, dude, all you had to do was clip it. All you had to do was clip 0.5 seconds, or you're gonna listen to it now. You're gonna be like, there it is. He's doing what he says he doesn't like to do, and that's I will fix that MP3. I will get it up shortly. Anyway, that's what I said. So that, the whole, and the other reason with Spotify is it wasn't as easy. So first of all, it was duration, like in terms of how long it was going to be, which was a cost factor because Libsyn was the only one that could host long form audio content. Then Anchor.fm came along, and that made it easier, and that's owned by Spotify. The other thing is that in terms of like the whole big thing over the last 3 years has been censorship and everything, and I know that a lot of the things that could be said or would be said can get flagged for any number of reasons. I honestly don't even care to keep track of the reasons why, but it could be. The fact is that I wanted full control over the MP3 file, over the distribution, and that's why I have the MP3 files on my own website. That's why I put them there. I know they might take a while to download, but it's good audio quality, it's high audio quality. I've spent some time making that audio sound good, and free to download, and will always be there as long as I'm paying for that website. Not Spotify, not Anchor, not Apple, not Google. So that there's my first 2 big things with that. Number 3 is that it wasn't as easy as it is now. Now it's a lot easier to distribute podcasts all over the place, and a lot of people. And to be fair, I didn't think I'd have as many guests as I had. Okay, well, I've only done 33 episodes, and there's been several repeat interviews, repeat guests. I didn't really think I was going to be doing this 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I just kind of started talking to people that I knew. Even today, it was mentioned to me, you can have sort of like sort of an exit interview of all the people that you've ever worked with. I'm like, it's kind of sounds like it, doesn't it? Right? I mean, you can have the company exit view interview, but unless you've talked to Steve, have you really left China just yet? I'm not going for that, but I am going for the good stories about the expats who lived here, who live here, and are trialing the tribulation and tribulating the trials of the expat life. And it doesn't have to be just China. It could be anywhere. I mean, that's sort of the great thing about being an expat is it's such a catch-all term, and also applies to people who've emigrated from wherever they were born and going to live in another country, right? So that's where I'm going with that podcast. This one a little bit different. This one's like a daily yik yak. Sort of, it almost replaces my written blog, which I mentioned I was trying to write a blog post. I sat down to write it and I got distracted. Then I turned on YouTube and I was eating and I made bacon and chicken and cheese. I mean, so I was like, okay, I'm distracted by this. And so I was watching YouTube and eating my dinner like that. And I'm looking at this blog post and I'm like, it's 10:30, I haven't finished it yet. And I just want to publish something because I haven't published something in a very long time. I have 3 other blog posts in the works, and I haven't had the time to finish them off, basically. So hopefully over the next week, I will start publishing the blog posts again, in addition to these audio blogs, in addition to the big podcast. A lot of stuff. Life is full. It's good though. I mean, I can't complain. This is all stuff. There was one comment, at least, like, if you're not getting 50 or 100 listeners to your podcast, maybe you should think about stopping. I'm like, if I only had, like, I'm thinking of the people that listen. I go, it almost keeps me more honest to have the faces of the people that are listening, because I know some of them I know can be rather critical. Some of them can be Britannically critical, Britishly critical. They can be, they have the accent, they have the British accent, and they say, oh, but maybe you could do it like this. That's not a British accent. I know. Don't racicize me. Don't come after me. Don't email me. No. I'm just saying that there's a criticism that, and this is feedback. I get it. I understand. I do the same thing with the things that I'm listening to, and it keeps me honest. If I have, respecting their time in mind while I'm recording these things, even with this daily audio yik yak, it might shock you. If you're just joining me in this audio yik yak, this daily audio digest blog, whatever, I mean, you might be going, what is this guy talking about? And I'll tell you, I've been doing this for over a year. And the things that I talk about here, it's so varied. It's not, I've tried to do the topic podcast before. It sucked. It's been terrible. It's been pedantic, terrible names, dumb names, just stupid, dumb, lame. This, much more real, a lot more off the cuff. It's 20 minutes on and then off. You move on with your day. It's your coffee break. I know. I am taking up your coffee break. I get you. But I hope that, especially with the work from home situation, maybe this sort of gives that sort of fills a void, I guess you could say, right? Along those lines. All right. Today I did manage to get the half Murph done. So I've been feeling like crap all week. Finally feeling good today. 2 mile warm up here took me how long? Well, it was a total of 20 minutes and 22 seconds for the 2 mile warm up. 1 mile run to start the Murph was 8:59. That's pretty good. Free activities, which is the 50 pull-ups, 100 push-ups, and 150 air squats, took me 22 minutes and 46 seconds, and the last mile took me 8 minutes and 28 minutes and 25 seconds. So that's pretty good. Pretty decent timing. I was actually surprised at how fast I got them done, and I was thinking, like, if I could get this down pretty, like, quick, this whole run the first mile, do the pull-ups, push-ups, and squats, and the last mile, if I get that all done like within 45 minutes, that's a good time. Even 40 minutes. 40 minutes would be better, I think. So I'll try to push for that. And a lot of that, the pull-ups hold me back. 50 pull-ups took me 8 minutes today. 100 push-ups took me probably also 8 minutes. And then the 150 squats took me about 6-7 minutes, around there. But yeah, the pull-ups take forever, because moving the body, like pulling your body up, is not easy. And I threw out my back again. I strained my back. I didn't throw it out. I strained my back, and I don't know how, because I'm doing these body weight exercises. I'm like, how did that happen on a body weight exercise where I sort of feel my upper back feeling a little bit uncomfortable? Bu shufu, as they say in Mandarin Chinese. But be as it may, got it done. I mean, I'm not in pain or anything. I'm not in tears or anything like that. So it's better than before. And I actually think part of the reason why my back has been so finicky lately is because I've been trying to realign my hips again. And that involves a lot of like the softening of the muscles around the hips and trying to straighten out the hips, which is a lot of stretching and strengthening of the legs, the hamstrings, and the quads. And I think that is contributing to a rebalancing of like the spinal cord and the muscles around it. You can say it's an excuse, you can say it's not, whatever. That's kind of what I understand. Like it just seems so odd that I'd be getting so many sort of back tweaks in the last 2 or 3 weeks, given that it's overlapping with me sort of working more on realigning the hips so they're a lot more equal, basically. Other than that, yeah. Okay, so is spitting the same as dog piss? You might wonder, like, what's he talking about? What are you spitting? The idea is that if you're walking outside, and because on my compound you see two things happening quite a bit. Old men, typically, some old women, elder women, aged, wisdom holders, knowledge bearers, spitting on the ground. And then you also see lots of dog owners letting their dogs squat and piss. Now this does get me. Okay, it's just very realist to me because it's not just the shoes. It's when I'm doing the push-ups. Where do you think I do them? I don't do them on the benches anymore because not only is it a little bit more cumbersome to do them on a bench, I do them on the ground, and you're like, oh God, never shake Sersky's hands again. Never, never. I mean, those hands have been on the dog piss and spit ground 50 times. It's gross, and it's true. I had a bit of a hang up about it before, until I'm not sure about your compound, but how do the cleaners clean the mops? Well, they take the mop, they soak it in water, and then they put it on the bench, and they take a wooden stick and they bang the mop on the bench that people sit on and that I'd be doing my push-ups on anyway. So either way, I'm touching spit, piss, dog shit, shoe detritus, and everything, puke, you name it. You can't get away from it. I guess the only thing that really kind of gets me is that if I'm doing a push-up and my beard touches the ground, that's where it's like, that's a little gross. Maybe I should stop stroking my beard and thinking at the same time while I'm working out. Oh, goodness, it's gross. I know, it's fucking horribly gross. But all right, so this whole authority said that they have this national map of China thing. Okay, so this is an article that just came out again today about China cracking down on these illegal maps. And surprise, surprise, I'm not sure if you know this, but a lot of stuff is made in China, manufactured here, like maps, for example. And some of the maps are exported overseas, and they include images of China. Now, if you are from China, you view China as one place. If you're from outside of China, you might view China as having a secondary place that has disputed its existence. And, well, actually, the major part of China disputes its existence, kind of like how Russia disputes the existence of Crimea and or Ukraine. So my thing about this actually is that, you know, the government says this, the authorities say this, that they're cracking down on these maps because, as this article states, the authorities said that a correct national map is a symbol of national sovereignty and territorial integrity. And I go, what about Crimea? What about Donbass? What about Ukraine? Doesn't seem like there's very much concern about the Ukrainian map when it's, you know, not affecting what's here. So I kind of look at the statement going, why are you cracking down on these maps? I hope, though, if those maps show any part of what Ukraine should be rightfully is, then you can only color, you know, the other disputed territories the same color as what some maps color Crimea or Donbass or any other parts that Russia has tried to lay claim to, rather than, you know, what the nationals, the UN, the WHO, everybody, international world sort of agrees, which is the geographical boundary of Ukraine. If it's not, then you color all those territories the same, and we'll let God sort them out, I guess. That seems what it's to be, if you believe in that God, even. YouTube watching. Yeah, so I was watching a little bit of YouTube, watching just stuff, watching things go by. Was it Joe Rogan again? That was the CIA guy was on talking about the Trump raid, and he didn't really say very much. He said a lot of words, but it didn't really say. Actually, if you read the comments, they all said the same thing. They're like, this guy just doesn't say anything. It's all very politically centered, very binding any way or the other. And I think kind of Joe Rogan was actually a little bit tipsy on that episode. Uh, he's a good guy to listen to. I mean, not just Joe Rogan, but this guy, the CIA guy, because he created this documentary last year, I think it was, Top Secret Uncovered or something like that. Very good series. It was very informative. A little bit showboaty as well, but it was entertaining. It was educational. You can get something from it, and I like listening to the guy because he sort of gives that sort of authentic view of how the CIA works, how government organizations work, and things like that. So this whole idea that the White House had no idea that Mar-a-Lago, Trump's residence, was going to be raided by the FBI. He's just going, nah, that's not possible. If that's possible, then this country, like basically this country's gone to shit. Like U.S. has gone to shit because like if the White House doesn't know what's going on under its own federal security organizations, yeah, that's not a good sign. That's not what the White House wants either. Even if they actually didn't know, they don't want to say that. That's like another country that doesn't want to be named saying like, oh, you mean they listed overseas? Ah, really? Oh, they did. Yeah, same thing. You don't want that to happen. You kind of just agree with it and go, yes, of course we knew. Check on that, please. Kind of like that scene, Les Grossman, Tropic Thunder, where he screams at the terrorists and then hangs up and throws the phone. He's like, can you check who that was, please? Then he screams at them first and then gets them to verify. Yeah, so something along those lines. Yeah, I am running over 20 minutes here. Librivox, I downloaded some ebooks. I'm going to be listening to some of those, thinking it'd be a lot easier than trying to read some of the books that I got to listen to, or that I want to read. Thucydides is one that came to mind. Have you ever listened to Librivox? Do you like them? Do you like the sometimes inconsistent quality of the recordings? But would you dare volunteer your time is a very good question. And a live track. I thought, you know what? I haven't done this a while. I should actually record a live track. And so that's what I'm going to try to do today on the GarageBand, on the iPad. We'll see if it works. It might suck. Who knows? But I will record it, and that way I can post it up as well, and you guys can have a listen. All right, folks, I'm going to leave it there. Show notes, tracks, and vids up on my website, stevensersky.com. Thank you very much for listening, not only to this podcast, this daily audio blog, Geek Yak, but also to the Big Cast. And thank you for your feedback. Thank you for the comments. And you know what? I was thinking, if you could, I would like to, a little bit of a greater sample size, maybe not just the people that I know. Share the podcast. Send it to someone else. If you send it to someone else and say, listen to this guy's podcast, you can fill that in with the C word or a split of your choice. Send me a screenshot. We'll have a good laugh about it. But otherwise, if you don't, even if you just send it to someone else, if you know of anybody else who would have benefit or would be interested in something, I'd be interested in knowing the bare ears, the new ears sort of impression of that podcast, because a lot of people that I talk to, I mean, they're close to me. I know them, work with them. I talk to them a lot. Maybe a little bit biased, although again, British sort of criticism. I understand it's there, but all that being the case, it is. I'd be interested in knowing what people who are fresh to the program think, and maybe the lack of statistics is enough to sort of dictate to indicate where this podcast lies. And to tell you the truth, I'm not sure if it would stop me anyway. I think, I guess the question is, like, do I keep on going with it? Do I keep on going with the interviews? Do I keep on going with this little audio podcast as well? Or do I stop and do what? What else would I do with my time? No, guys, girls, I think you're stuck with me. I think as long as there's an internet connection, a microphone, and something to talk about, and even if there's nothing to talk about, I think there's still going to be 20 minutes of Steve every day, or at least a lot of days of the year and of the week and the months and the years. All right, again, I'm going to leave it there, folks. StevenSersky.com is where I keep all the archives for this. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. And let's see if I can mix down this track live. Here we go. Okay, folks. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. We'll talk again. Bye-bye. Oh, there we go. Okay, we'll save this to the requisite folders. Boom, done with that. Boom, there, done. You're right. Okay, so hope you guys can hear this. Probably can. Should be. Now I crank that. This. Goodbye. Onto this. Oh, wow. Wow, that's loud. Can you hear that? I think you can. I'm going to just double check to make sure it's coming through on this. I'm going to plug in my headphones. Boom. Is the KRK 8400s. There you go. I use these to monitor a lot of stuff. Some latency latency. That's why. Okay, so it should still work. Good. Boom. Just don't forget to record it this time, I guess. Which ones do we want to do? Let's just go. Actually, it wasn't bad. I'm surprised. We'll save that one. And I'll do, what else can we do? One more? Mark Litteretti. What is this? No. No. Not doing that. Not at all. Not at all. No, don't like that one. Godzilla Latina. What is this one? Right. All right. Cutting it there. It's past my bedtime. All right. Hope you enjoyed that, folks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Do it again. Bye-bye.